All right. So now we're going to talk about research. This is probably one of the biggest overlooked pieces of the offer creation process for amateurs, right? Or people that are new to this, right? You send stuff out to a copywriter and you go, hey, write me some copy about this. Oftentimes you get back crap and then you're mad at the copywriter. It's because you didn't give them any data. You didn't give them research to start with, right? So even if you're going to hire a copywriter, you need to learn to do research yourself because you're going to know your customer better than the copywriter is. Chances are, unless you got a really ace copywriter that you probably can't afford, right? The better copywriters spend most of their time in research and a minimal amount of time writing. So this is the first section that we're going to actually have a map for. You have a map. This is step A. So when you get ready to write, this is the first map that you should go through. Right? Yeah, and on the back of it, on the back of the map, there's a form that you've also got a copy of the form, and you can photocopy from that. And Deanna will send you the digital versions of those forms, so you can print as many of them as you want. I would prefer that you didn't share them around because they don't seem that proprietary or crazy cool, but they kind of sort of are. This is how I start the process. So I'm going to go through this map, fill out the form on the right, and then I'm going to have my research done. I'm usually going to have a lot more notes that can go on that form, right? I was going to take a picture. I was trying to find one. I do this all on a whiteboard with Post-it notes. So I move around Post-it notes. As I make notes, I just try to write down everything that's in my head as I come up with research, different word clouds and things like that. But we'll go through the process. Basically, this is how to read your customer's mind. You're trying to figure out what's going to make them tick, right, as it pertains to your product. We've talked about, so far, we've talked about general psych. These are general psychology behavioral rules, right? Now we're talking about actually drilling down to the customer that you want to attract, who you believe wants and or needs the product that you're selling, hopefully wants, right? So everyone is not your customer, especially not you. This is one of the hardest things to deal with, is getting out of your own way and realizing, for the most part, you are not your customer. I'll tell a story I've told before because it really demonstrates the point so well. And for those of you who've heard it before, please forgive my repetitiveness. But my history, my mentor in life is a guy named Robert Wang. He was the guy that taught me everything about merchandise in the world. And he bought a company that I owned. We owned a candle company. He bought it. I went to work for him for a year. And he asked me to come and design a candle line. So I've got, oddly enough, a tasteful eye for home decor. And so I designed in this candle line, this beautiful candle line. So I wanted to impress this guy. He sold $1 billion worth of stuff a year. I was really impressed with him. He was very famous where I was from. And I show up and I show him he comes in the room and I show him my line that I designed that I thought was absolutely perfect and beautiful. And without any feedback, he's a Chinese guy, had a pretty strong Chinese accent. And he said, everything wrong, and just left the room. I don't like to lose, right? Really pissed me off. So I did it all over again. So a week or so goes by, I redesign the line, trying to think of something else he wants. Same result. He comes in the room, looks 2 seconds, everything's wrong, right? And I've been designing and selling products for a long time. I just knew that I couldn't possibly be that wrong, right? So he had not given me proper research material either, right? So the client was not who I thought it was. But anyhow, so I decided that I'm going to take one more pass at this. He said, I gotta have a line. So I'm going to take one more pass at it. So I, on my own money, flew to New York City. I went to Barney's, Saks, Macy's, all the major department stores, and I bought the best-selling candles in each store. I asked the managers which line's selling the best, which one's doing the best. Found out exactly what was selling, exactly what was moving, exactly what was on trend, and came back to reproduce those candles to present that to Robert as my winning line, right? But it wasn't that dissimilar from what I'd already shown him. And I ran out of time, so I did what all of you would have done. I just stuck my label on their candles and presented that line. How could I possibly be wrong now? It's impossible, right? So Robert comes in the room. This time I've got everything under a drape. I'm like, voila. Now bask in my brilliance, right? And he just does the same thing. He's like, Perry, everything is wrong. Everything's wrong. And I said, no, you're wrong. This time you're wrong. Mr. Big Shot sold $1 billion worth of stuff. Perry's right. You're wrong. And then I told him what I'd done, waiting for him to tell me how brilliant I was and make me vice president of the company. Didn't work out exactly like that. He held his head in his hands like this, and he says, Perry, you're a smart guy, but you don't understand. 5% people have a really good taste. I sell everybody else. It's a pretty big lesson. You are not your customer, right? They don't know the benefits or the drawbacks of a provisional patent. They don't know the death moves of jujitsu yet, right? They don't know all the things you think that you may already know or the way that you believe about what you do. Like, I'm guessing Gabriella back here, from what little I know of her, is this psycho-perfectionist photographer, crazy lady that stands on her tiptoes on a glacier and takes a picture of a whale taking a piss somewhere. I don't know, right? But I'm guessing she does crazy shit like that, right? Right? So you probably think that that's what everybody wants, right? When in fact, they just want to take a good picture at Thanksgiving, right? And that bores the shit out of you, but there's a whole lot more of them out there than there is of you out there, right? So when you want to go broad market, I'm picking on you a little bit, but you know what I'm saying, right? So you're not your customer. So offer loss. 70% of a winning offer is created before a word is written, before you write one word. It's created in the research.